me is how come no one's paying attention to the larger war that's about to erupt between Israel, the Holy Land, okay, and Jerusalem, the holy city, and the temple, so to speak, with Iran? How come we ain't hearing about them apples? Because I actually think, as a part of this conflagration, which has always just been a proxy war, which I've warned about for years, even prior to 2014, and the annexation, okay, of the Crimean Peninsula in Sevastopol by Vladimir Putin, of which they voted 90% to join the Russian Federation, because a lot of them are Russian-speaking, and actually Russian natives actually wanted to go the way of Russia, is how come no one's focusing their eyes on the biblical prophecy of the great event and the great motherlode of all wars about to take place with Israel and Iran?
Israel has reportedly warned hundreds of its citizens to leave Turkey immediately. This is due to an apparent threat from Iran, which has blamed Israel for the recent assassination of a senior Iranian Revolutionary Guard officer. Our correspondent Jody Cohen has sent us this report. Take a look.
According to reports, Sayed Khordai helped to lead an Iranian force that carries out kidnappings and assassinations outside of Iran, including of Israelis. He himself was assassinated last week, and Iran has vowed to take revenge. On Monday, Iranian media published a list of 5 wanted Israeli intelligence and technology experts who are apparently being surveyed by Iran, as well as their colleagues and even their families. And in the latest, Israeli officials have reportedly telephoned 100 Israeli civilians in Turkey to advise them to return to Israel, as they could also be at risk. This followed a travel warning for Turkey from Israel's National Security Council, which suggested that there is a concrete threat to Israelis from Iranian terrorist operatives in Turkey, as well as in nearby countries. Recently, the Mossad has reportedly foiled attempts to target Israeli figureheads, consular staff and business people around the world. And now Iran is apparently widening its target, aiming for Israeli tourists as well. The threats come amid a stalled Iran nuclear deal, with Israel believing the deal won't prevent Iran from achieving nuclear weapons. According to the UN nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, on Monday, Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is 18 times over the 2015 deal limit. All Israelis remaining in Turkey have been advised to stay vigilant, avoid contact with strangers, and not give out personal information or even publicly show they are Israeli. Turkey, which is warming ties with Israel following a landmark recent visit there by its foreign minister, is apparently not happy about the travel warning, but is hoping that by publicizing the threat and taking preventative security steps, the threat will pass quickly. This is Jody Cohen for WION, World is One.
Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz stressed the importance of dealing with Iran prior to his recent trip to Washington, where he met with American military leaders.
Iran continues to accumulate irreversible knowledge and experience in the development, research, production, and operation of advanced centrifuges. It stands just a few weeks away from accumulating fissile material that will be sufficient for a first bomb.
In Washington, Gantz met his U.S. counterpart, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, and urged the U.S. to take the lead when it comes to Iran. According to a statement from his office, Gantz told Austin, "We must act decisively against Iran's mounting regional aggression in a variety of ways. This includes strengthening a practical coalition under U.S. leadership together with regional partners." This was all happening as Israel was planning a large-scale military drill, practicing a potential attack on Iranian nuclear facilities, according to Israeli media reports at the time. According to those reports, the exercise was to take place as part of the ongoing Chariots of Fire military drill. The incoming U.S. military commander in the region was also in Israel discussing the Iranian nuclear threat with Israeli military chiefs. Part of the Iran exercise reportedly included a retaliation scenario involving Iran and allies like Hezbollah, Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Chariots of Fire is currently in its fourth week, with Israeli military units conducting a first-of-its-kind exercise in Cyprus. According to an IDF statement, the goal is to improve the readiness and ability of the IDF to carry out missions deep within enemy territory. Middle East expert Eli Konim says after more than a year of negotiating an updated Iranian nuclear deal, it's time to consider military action against what she calls an axis of evil that includes China and Russia.
It's really time for the Biden administration to put this option back on the table and show this access that the United States will go to the military option if necessary. And we're going to continue to defend our own national security interests as well as our allies in the region.
Meanwhile, as sanctions continue to squeeze Iran, Kohanim says recent protests there go beyond economic woes.
They very quickly turned political, with people in the streets of Iran at the threat of their own lives chanting "Death to Khamenei."
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name,